Good, man. Good.
How's
Happy
it
to
going?
be
What's
on.
happening?
Good. How's it, Dave?
So, Dave, were you joking about the hockey finals, or were they actually
No,
hockey
I
finals?
legitimately watched the hockey finals on Sunday.
We watched the hockey finals.
And who was in the hockey finals?
England, South Africa. We lost in the penalties.
Oh,
It's a
no,
good game, man.
really? Against
Yeah.
England?
Yeah.
Oh, no, that's a pity, man. That's one country I don't like losing to, I must say.
Yeah, it
So,
happens.
so you must WhatsApp me next time. I'll watch hockey and you can watch some rugby.
I
No,
don't know
I
how
just
he
happened to be.
really refused to watch the box
No,
versus the
no,
home
it was
team.
typical. Like, no, it's one of those. Dave went to a braai and the hockey was on, so we watched the hockey.
No.
Oh, jeez. But I suppose, when it's finals like that, South Africa
Yeah.
and England, I'd also watch them.
The
Okay.
people I was at the braai with knew a couple of the team members, so they were like, "No, got to support our mates. We got to watch the game."
No, of course, definitely, man. That's awesome. Just pity we lost. Anyways, let's see who's with us. So if you have just joined us, this is the Coffee Chat with Andrew, Dave, and Daniel, where we talk all about property for about 40 minutes. And what we do on these Coffee Chats is we go through what events are happening this week, what happened last week, is there anything interesting in the property market, and it's a good opportunity for all of you to ask questions. So if you have any questions for Dan, Andrew, Dave, or our guest speakers, because Catherine, who was at the SAPIN Women event on Saturday, we're going to be bringing her up in about 5 minutes. And we're also bringing Nico back up because Nico's got a few good property opportunities that I want to hear about and see. So we're going to be running through some deals a bit later on. So any questions for Nico around deals, opportunities, or profits, or whatever the case might be, please let us know. And in the meantime, let us know where you're from. Joburg, Pretoria, Cape Town. What's your strategy? What are you trying to achieve in property? Let us know where you are, and if you are stuck, we'll certainly help you out. So before Dave does run through what's happening this week, because there's some awesome events this week, Dan, what's happening with SAPIN Youth? Is there any business happening? Any deals happening? What's the latest?
Yeah, so SAPIN Youth is going good. I've got a couple of offers going in from a couple of the teams and students. So looking forward to see what transpires from those. But quickly, I'm super excited. I finally got my respect. He said Andrew, Dave, and Dan show. I've been fighting for that. So yeah, send some love in the comment section. I've made it, huh?
Yeah, you're up there with us now, Dan. All that hard work, eh?
Yeah.
No, it's good, man. If you don't know what Dan is talking about, so part of SAPIN for the newbies, SA Property Investors Network has been around for a very long time, and we launched SAPIN Youth this year, where we're taking the youngsters of South Africa and showing them how to build successful businesses as it relates to property or property investment. And in fact, we just secured the venue today for the 25th on Thursday. We're going to the Bryanston Country Club with the youth, where we've got a big group of very experienced business people and property investors in one room, and we're going to be assigning mentors, right?
She's overall brilliant business individuals, right? So we've got the team for Preferential, Vuiso coming up. We've got Miguel Martins and some of the Absa Bank team coming up. So that's perfect. And awesome. And I see a couple of people are laughing because they see the disrespect you guys give me on a weekly basis.
I see that. It's hi, Daniel and the crew. So
yes,
Dave,
it's
crew.
Daniel's show today.
Even though he's dressed like this, eh? See how the youth dress.
All I'm going to ask is let's show our full attire. That's all I'm going to ask.
Hey, you wouldn't see my shorts. Okay, so enough of that. So Dave, maybe take us through what's happening tomorrow night. We can chat a bit about that. We've got, I know, this Thursday night, this Saturday. There's a lot happening.
Yeah, you guys have a busy week up in Joburg. So let's run through it first. Tomorrow night, the 23rd of August in Johannesburg, you guys have the Absa Investor Solutions event out in the East Rand. Andrew, who's speaking? What's happening? Who's hosting it?
So it's mainly the Absa Bank crew that are coming. So we got Nondamiso, who's head of home loans in South Africa. And Dave, I've got some interesting news about that. Nondamiso is the first female in the country to head up a home loans, which is very, very good.
Yeah.
That's amazing. And so Dave, there's about 5 or 6 different speakers on behalf of Absa talking about how Absa is supporting and helping investors grow their portfolio from different products like future rental products to bank accounts to a whole variety of different ways. Because most people think Absa, they think of, I'm going to go get a loan or a bond, but there's a lot more that Absa Bank do to support both first-time investors as well as very experienced property investors. So that is Tuesday night, tomorrow night at 6:30. And remember, it's not just about the speakers, it's about the networking opportunities. Redwan, one of our members from Cape Town, is flying up. He's got some deals in Cape Town that he's presenting to the Joburg property investors. And there's a few other investors who will be pitching deals. There's a few investors who have got cash looking to invest in deals. So it's our public events. So whether you want to come to see Absa, whether you want to come to network, whether you want to find some deals, it's a great place to be at Bryanston Country Club tomorrow night at 6:30. So that's that, Dave.
Yeah, so that's the first one that's up a little later this week. So on August the 25th, that's Thursday. Andrew, you and I'll be running coaching and legal support as always. So we'll have the team from Intergen and British Amount attorneys online to sit there and answer some of your questions. You can access that event if you're an intermediate professional member or if you have access to any of our courses. So definitely make sure you're on that. Make sure you send your questions in. The sooner you guys send us questions, the sooner we can make sure we get the answers in. Sometimes we want to go and get the experts to answer those questions. So that's Thursday night. All you have to do is email support@spropertynetwork.com and you can get the information to get access, or you would have received an email already. And then last but not, go for it, Drew.
No, I'm just saying that's awesome, bro. That's Thursday night.
And then last but not least, Drew, everyone can catch you at the Property Expo this weekend in Sandton Convention Center. So Private Property has their property show. They're back after COVID, after a nice long hiatus. We're back to doing expos again, and the first starting off with Sandton. Drew, what are you doing? I know you're speaking on a couple of panels. What can everyone do? Come through, see you, visit the booth.
Yeah, definitely. It's going to be a great event. I mean, we've been at all the private property shows, Dad, going back to 2017, 2018, 2019, 2021, or 2020 it was. And yeah, so it's, like you say, David, the Sandton Convention Center, all day Saturday, all day Sunday. We've got a big investor stand there. Marisha Robus will be there. Bruno Samau will be there. A whole ecosystem will be at the show. And it's just about networking, it's about education. There's a variety of different property practitioners and property professionals at the private property show this weekend. And Dave, for all our members, we've got about 150 free tickets for our members, which is great. So please, all of you, come this weekend, whether it's Saturday or Sunday. Myself, Dan, and the team will be there the whole weekend. Come to the SAPIN stand. Come say hello. There is a schedule of different speakers. There's a first-time buyer part. So if you're a first-time buyer, there's workshops just for you. If you're an investor, there's workshops just for you. If you're a tenant or you're a seller, there's a part in a workshop just for you. And it's just going to be great fun. There's going to be thousands of people at this event on Saturday and Sunday because we are now out of COVID and we can run these big events again. So it'll be great for you guys to come. And that's it, Dave?
Yeah, 100%. That's it for the week. A little more next week. I know we got Mastermind happening. I think it's Tuesday next week. So that's going to be good and exciting. But other than that, that's it for this week. It's still a lot. Plenty happening, and the expo is always going to be a fun one. So, Drew, you're going to be nice and tired for coffee chat next week.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be beautiful. I'll give you some good feedback next Monday from the session. And then, Dave, before you bring Catherine on, because Catherine was at the SAPIN Women's event, can we just see who's with us, Dave?
Yeah, 100%. We've got Paul Adams joining in. Paul, feels like it's been a while. Good to have you in. Boitamelo is asking how he can pitch some deals at the networking event. Boitamelo, email support. They're always your first point of contact. We got Laura joining via the YouTube channel from Germany. That's really exciting.
Sylvia's niece. It's good to see you, Sylvia and Laura. So if you're in Joburg, come see us either tomorrow night, Laura, at the Bryanston Country Club, or come see us at the private property show in the weekend. Okay, it'll be awesome to see you and meet you.
Yeah, that'll be good. We've got Linda Koule joining from Durban and Yaku from Belgium, with Bele, Kabi, and Rami also joining in. Rami's joining from Israel. Good to have you all here. Nice international reach today.
Yeah, that's awesome. And Paul Adams is in Turkey. How's that? Wow. So it's interesting stuff. Okay, cool. So, and remember, everyone, if you have any questions as we're going through this, please pop in the comments box and remember to tag your friends in, your business colleagues. If they're interested in property or they're stuck or they need help, please reach out to us, ask questions, and we'll support you as much as we can. Welcome, Catherine. How are you?
Hi, Andrew. Fine and you?
I'm very good, thanks. Now, Catherine,
thank you for inviting me.
No, it's a pleasure. It's good to have you. Thank you for your time, first of all.
Pleasure.
Before we talk about Saturday's event, because I heard it was a great success, right?
Yes, it was. It was loads of fun as well.
Could you please introduce yourself? So what do you do? Do you invest full time? Do you have a job? Do you do property on the side? How does that work?
Cath Muberuka, known as Cath. I prefer to be called Cath. Currently, my hope and my goal is to go into full-time into property. So I've resigned from my full-time job in the tourism industry last year. And after that, we've been traveling with my husband for a while and stuff. So we've decided to, now that everything is settled and stuff, so my goal is just to go full on into the property world and just, grind.
Just go for it, eh? Cool.
Thank you.
So, Cath, tell us about Saturday. What happened? I mean, where was it? How many ladies were there?
Saturday, Joe. It was a lot of us. I think maybe about 200, if I may say so. It was amazing to be with so many inspiring women under the same roof, and all the speakers were amazing. Like we left there inspired and just ready to start because everything was just amazing. All the speakers were like, everyone, like we picked up everything from all the speakers. And also not just to mention Wanundu Miso from Absa, I think she just made it easier for everyone to just see that you can come from humble beginnings and then be as big as she is. She doesn't see herself as big as she is, but we see her as like this big person. She's just opened a huge door for women in South Africa, not even looking at the race or your background or anything. And we just saw like life is so much full of possibilities if you're really willing to work for it.
Definitely. Now, the people that missed Nondumiso, would you recommend that people get to the event tomorrow night to see you in action?
Definitely. It's a must. It's a must go tomorrow. So yes, not just talking about her, but also just to being in under the same roof with the property investors and the experts and everyone. So there's so much to learn, so much so many people to meet, and also the networking is amazing because you meet different people doing different things, and then you can learn from those other people.
Yeah, definitely. And I know Lani was talking this morning about there's so many ladies that want to get into that group environment, SAPIN women. So I know that Alani and some of the ladies from that event wanted to do some kind of group coaching where it's just female based. So I'm not sure exactly what's going to happen there, but I know Alani's busy working on that for all you ladies, eh?
Oh, that's amazing. And also with the WhatsApp group that we have on the side for only women is it makes life so much easier. Like with Alani, we know there's no stupid question. Whatever you ask, she's always willing to help. And also, I'd just like to shout out to Alani and Simone for making it possible on Saturday because it was amazing. So, yes.
I can imagine. Unfortunately, we weren't allowed in the event.
Next time.
Next time. But I heard so many amazing things, and I'd maybe like to touch a bit upon you, Cath, if you're okay with that. You kind of gave us a high-level idea of where you're on your journey, what your goals are. But in terms of your property investment journey, can you maybe tell us a bit about what you have done so far to date? What sort of investments have you been working on? And what's next for you?
My property journey started... I've always been interested in properties and stuff, but because I was busy with work and it's always been taking my time. So last year, I think there was one of the free webinars online and stuff. And then after I joined it, that's when I decided I'm going to take this course. So I had a coach who was mentoring me as well every time when I had questions and stuff. And then I decided that, okay, my goal is just to buy and then let properties. But in a long term, I would like to go into multi-let and also do the flipping. But for now, I've only had properties that I just bought properties together with my husband and we're renting them out. And I don't think I would have been where I am now without the SAPIN support group and having a coach that I can just speak to and just drop a WhatsApp message if I'm not sure on what I do, on what I'm currently doing. And yeah, everything has just been going smoothly because of the support and knowing that there's always someone who you can ask questions and then assist you or lead you to the correct direction.
That's
So
amazing.
for now, it's just being amazing. And also just to mention that the latest property that we have, Absa really helped us. They came in for us, and the interest rate was amazing for someone who's a beginner.
Well, Absa.
I was going to say, was it from
Yes.
Absa?
Yes,
Oh,
it was
that's
Absa. And the nice thing about property is that because I was so busy the past year traveling and not being around, so everything was done online. We were not in the country when the applications were sent out, when Absa approved and came back with the best interest rate. So everything was done when we were outside the country, and it just makes it life easier. Being in property, it gives me the flexibility I need in my life, and that I can also just do, especially with the paperwork and stuff, I can just do them from anywhere in the world. But obviously, before buying property, you have to go and view it. So that is a must.
Oh, that's super awesome, hey, to hear how like incredible it's been. Your journey has been around a certain ecosystem and network to help guide you. But you did attend the SAPIN Women's event. There were awesome speakers. I heard Simone blew the roof off. But if you had to summarize, what's one thing you learned from all the different women speakers that were present? One piece of advice you took out of that event?
One piece of advice is that I know we always doubt ourselves on how far we are, or we're always asking ourselves, are we on the right path? Are we on the right track? Am I going to the right direction or anything? But what I took from Saturday was that believe in yourself. If it doesn't scare you, it's not big enough for you. So also just go out there and just follow your heart. My property has always been close to my heart, so I think I'm at the right place and I've got the right support, and yes, so I'm ready to just move along.
Awesome.
And continue.
Sounds good, eh?
Perfect. Thank you. Nice to meet you, Cath, as well.
And we'll see you tomorrow night.
Thank you.
Yeah?
Definitely see you tomorrow night.
Okay, awesome, Cath. Thank you so much. So that is Cath, ladies and gents. If you have just joined us, we can probably chat with Daniel and his crew, Dave and Andrew. And this is all about property. And today we had Cath, who was the SAPIN Women's event, one of our members. And I want to bring on Nico, who's going to talk to us about some property deals he's got. So this is a good opportunity for all of you to ask any questions relating to property deals. Nico, welcome.
Hello there. Thank you so much. I've got my coffee mug for SAPIN, so I'm ready for this chat.
Excellent. Sounds good. So, Nico, a quick introduction. There's some newbies online with us today. Who are you and what do you do?
Thanks, Andrew. So my name is Nico Du Plooy, and I manage Precision Realty, and also known as the brokerage within the network. We find property investment opportunities. We also find investors, and then we put the two together and we make success out of business opportunities. So we guide them through the processes and obviously assist and help wherever we can.
Okay, fantastic, Nico. Now, I get this question all the time, Nico, especially for newbie investors. When you're buying a property, and it doesn't really matter if you're buying a flat or you're buying a rundown house, what are some of the things you need to consider when making a decision whether the property makes sense or not? Like, what do you look at, Nick, at the brokerage?
Yeah, so this is a coaching session in its own, to be honest. There's quite a lot to be discussing, so I'm going to try and keep that question fairly brief. But the things that I will look at, number one is the purchase price. The purchase price needs to work for you, especially if there's a lot of renovations that needs to be done. You don't want to overcapitalize on the property. So number one, purchase price is for me a big one. Second of all, it's the area that you purchase the property in. You kind of want to know, that if you buy the property, is this value of the property going to increase over time? And you can obviously look at your past, your history of the area in order to see what has been happening over the last 10 years just by pulling a Lightstone report and seeing what has happened in it and what is the likelihood of this area actually growing in market value and equity growth for the specific property you want to buy. Third of all, you would look at what is the amount of renovation costs that you're going to be spending on this property, right? And also what needs to be done. Is it something that you can do? Do you need specialized teams that needs to assist you through this? How big is this renovation? That plays a big factor in your purchase decision. Holding costs. I think people a lot of the time forget about this one. It's a very big one. Looking at how long am I going to keep this property before I can tenant it? What is my expenses going to be for that duration? And a lot of the time, it actually can kill a deal because they didn't take into consideration that I'm now paying for the bond. I'm now paying maybe for levies. I'm paying for rates and taxes, water and electricity on the property. Those expenses can very easily go to a huge amount if you don't plan it. So just have a look out for that. Obviously, a big one, people don't think that there's acquisition costs, right? What did the bank charge you? What is the transfer fees, the attorneys? What is all of those costs that's involved with this? If you're buying it through a sourcing agent, what is the sourcing agent fee that needs to go along with it? Those are big questions. And then rental income. If you can't get a proper rental income that's going to be more than the expenses of your property, it's going to be negative cash flowing. So you need to understand how to run those numbers. And, is it a good deal from a cash flow perspective? Am I making money from day one, or will I only make money from year 3? Very, very important. And then lastly, how did I protect myself in the purchase? Did I make sure that I get an OTP that was properly signed, completed, to make sure there's exits for me? Is there enough time for me to do due diligence once they've accepted my offer? All of those things, which is, in a nutshell, the very important things that I do look at before I consider, even presenting a deal.
Well, so there's quite a lot in there, Nico.
Yeah, that's why the Property Academy is there. That's why Coaches is there. But, if you try to do this from the beginning yourself, I think you might lose out on a lot of information. And that's what you will learn, unfortunately, only too late if you didn't know this in advance.
Absolutely. Dan, you got a question?
Yeah. First of all, Nico, nice to see you again. And for those that do not know, Nico was at the SAPIN Women's event and lost at bingo. He lost, did not represent us properly. But maybe reeling it back in, Nico, just a quick one. You did speak of what you should look out for when buying a property, when looking to invest. One of the lessons you taught me as well, Nico, is the importance of having an exit strategy. I've seen the comment section below. There is someone working on a flip. Let's say you wanted to go through with a flip, Nico, and you had an exit strategy in mind, whether Airbnb, short-term renting, or maybe getting a permanent tenant on board. What's the time frame do you work on? Say, do you try to sell the property on for 6 months, and then after 6 months, if you do not get interest, to start implementing your exit strategy? What's your what do you work on? What's your framework in terms of that, implementing your exit strategy?
So for flipping a property, those ones are a little bit longer than what I would normally put in, because there's a lot to be taken into consideration. If you have a back-to-back opportunity, that is obviously much shorter, but you also need to know what you're doing, and you kind of need to have your purchases lined up if you are considering doing a back-to-back. But if you're going into a flip, right, there's obviously you buy the property, and about 3 months is going to go by before you actually get to a point where you physically can move into the property or start your renovations, right? So then there's the first 3 months is going to probably be your renovation time frame to make sure the property is sorted and ready. After the renovations, you obviously need to advertise the property, get it listed, and get tenants placed in it, and that can also take a month or two. And should you want to, then that is if you want to put a tenant in that time frame. But also then if you want to sell it, then you also need to advertise the property in order to get it sold as well, right? So if you then want to advertise, you can't really go for less than about 3 months unless you've done your homework very well and you know that the price that you've put in there is going to be caught up very quickly. That could take between a month to 3 months to get it listed. And then if it's signed and you've accepted the agreement, then it could take another 3 months to transfer the property off of your name. So I would really, for a proper flip, not go in less than 6 months, and would probably try and budget for 12 months. And then if I can get it done sooner, it's back to your bottom line, which is a good place. I think the risk for a flip is quite high, and people need to be aware of it, but also plan properly. And if you plan properly, then the risk is not that high.
because there's a lot that can go wrong with flips. And Nick, we've seen it firsthand. I mean, myself and Nick have just done a flip. Look, we still made money out of it, but there was lots that went wrong, eh? But that is why when you get into these things, you need to understand what can go. Because if you know what can go wrong and your margin is big enough, if something does happen, it'll eat into your margin, but at least you still make a profit at the end of the day. Now,
that's right. And I think what Daniel, sorry, Andrew.
Go for it.
Yeah, what Daniel was saying there is very important, because ultimately make sure that you do have your exit strategies in place. All right. So if I don't get a purchaser quick enough, what is going to be my exit strategy? Am I going to put a tenant in there for a short-term letting time frame? So that I can at least cover expenses to stretch that time frame, so that I have more time to actually sell it off. Is there agreements in place and ready for me to actually put them into place fairly quickly, so that I can have the tenant out of there as soon as the lease expires.
Definitely. Now, Nick, I'm just conscious of time here as well. I know that you've got quite a few different types of opportunity, and there's some newbies joining us today. So maybe let us know what deals are available. Are they buy-to-lets? Are they multi-lets? Are they starter properties? What are they?
So sure, Andrew, I'm actually busy with quite a lot. I can quickly do a screen share if you want to, just show you 3 of them in the meantime, if that's okay with you. So let's quickly do that. So everyone can also just go to Precision Realty's Facebook page. These opportunities are listed there. If you do want to get more information, then you can also reach out to us via Facebook. Alternatively, you can just send an email to us at info@brunosamauproperty.co.za, and then just list on each of the deals. There will be a reference number, as you can see at the top right of this one. It says AIPR262, and then you can ask us and we can get you more information on the transaction or on the deal. So this is a typical angel investment opportunity for a value required of 650,000 Rand for an 18-month time frame. They will provide 18% return on investment per annum. So interest repayment will be monthly, and the capital repayment will be at the end of the opportunity. So there will be a contract of loan in place for this opportunity as well. And the investor will make sure that they do a second bond on this property. They purchase it for R1 million. After renovation, the projected value of this property will be just over 2 million Rand. So you can see they already purchased the property correctly, below market value, able to then pull some money from this transaction at the end again. Right, so then the second opportunity that we have here is a multi-let opportunity currently in Brakpan. So you can be sure that this one will move fairly quickly. Market value of the property is 1.2 million. The purchase price is 800,000 Rand. That's been agreed via OTP and secured. And then the bond finance required will therefore be 800,000, but the cash funds required will only be 339,000 Rand. So this is a 14% return on investment opportunity in Brakpan. You can see that all of the costs, that 339,000 Rand would include your bond cost, your transfer cost, your brokerage fee, the renovation cost, as well as your holding cost will be included in 339,000 Rand. We're looking at rental incomes of 15,000 Rand per month. And so this is actually a fantastic opportunity in Brakpan. There's a low barrier to entry for you, obviously only having a bond requirement of 800,000 and capital for 340,000 Rand. So this is a good one for beginners. I think it's a fantastic multi-let opportunity. We don't get a lot of these coming over the line, but this one will go fairly quickly. Right, and then we also have one in Cape Town. Can you believe it, guys? We have a joint venture opportunity coming in from Cape Town. So this one is also interesting, and we've had quite a lot of people interested in this opportunity so far, so we are blessed with that. So the funding required for this one is 315,000 Rand. So interesting about this one is if you want to start out and you want to maybe be part of a team, a professional team of property investors in Cape Town, then this is something that you must consider. So first of all, you're going to see monthly interest is going to be 7% per annum. And it sounds very low, but you need to listen for the whole package before you make a decision, right? So we're talking about 7% per annum return on investment that will be paid to you. We got shares owned in a company of 14%. And then you also get cash flow per month, from based on your shareholding in the company, right? So at the end of the 4 years, they're looking for this funding for this joint venture partner for a 4-year period. That's going to give you on average between 16 and 18% return on investment per annum over the 4-year period. And as you can understand, during that 4 years, your equity in the property is going to grow, and you therefore also will get equity growth over the 4 years period for this type of transaction. So for someone who wants to make sure that their money work, they actually work with a professional team in Cape Town managing a multi-let opportunity. This is definitely something that you need to look out for. So this is fantastic for you to consider. So yeah, that is just the ones that we're currently busy with.
Yeah, definitely. Well, and well done, Nico. I know that you've also got a few deals that haven't been secured out in the West Rand, where I think you're looking at purchase prices of 580 or 590 for all the beginner investors out there. So let's make sure that we get those ready for the weekend as well. But as you can all see, ladies and gents, Nico's got all different type of investments, from multi-lets to buy-to-lets to, if you've got some cash and you want a good return on investment, reach out to Nico and he'll certainly help you out. Nico, is there anything else from your side,
I quickly want to mention a couple of things. At Precision Realty, we're always looking for new opportunities and new deals. So if you know about someone who wants to sell a property, as an example, please make sure that you put them in touch with us. We are very open to, as property investors, to give you a referral fee for any successful transaction that goes through. So whether it is just an opportunity like someone wanting to sell their house, you know the neighbor, he didn't sign a mandate yet, please introduce them to Precision Realty. We can then make sure that we do sign a mandate with them, and if the properties sell, we will give you a referral fee for that transaction. And the same then happens with, whenever you have a good opportunity, whether it's a flip or a multi-let or anything that you see is a good opportunity, you might not know exactly how it works, but you've run some numbers, you've negotiated, the guy would be willing to sell, you introduce him to us, we will also be sure to then communicate with you and agree a referral fee with you, depending on the amount of work that you put in, because we might be able to get you to go and do the viewings with the potential buyers, etc., and then we can increase your referral fee a little bit through that process as well. Yeah, that's very important. And then, we got a couple of other ones on the line that's probably coming fairly shortly. We have a development opportunity that we need to raise a joint venture values for in Durban. We got another 400,000 Rand angel investment coming in very shortly. And like Andrew said, in Witpoortjie here in the West Rand, we got about 580,000 Rand flats. We got about 10 of them that needs to be sold off. For your first-time buyers, there's already potential tenants that will be able to take lease agreements on them. So these opportunities are very, very good and will run very fast, but that's coming out very shortly.
Awesome. Thanks, Nico. Now, to get hold of you, I can see Dave's posted your website, but just post your Facebook link if you can, Nico, or your personal details, whatever you want. Pop it in the comments. So for all of you looking to get into property or you want to boost your property portfolio, reach out to Nico and find out more about how the brokerage works. Thank you very much for your time, man, Nico.
Thanks, Nico.
Thank you. It was nice being here, guys. Have a good one.
We'll see you soon. So there we go.
All right.
That's Nico Du Plooy from the brokerage. Okay, fantastic. So Dave is back, almost 25 to 2. Can you believe it? Who's with us, Dave? Anyone else? Has anyone else joined?
Tim Basile, I'm not seeing any questions. Marley's in, Postal here, Stephen Maritz is on, but unfortunately not many questions. Maybe there's something worth a conversation over here from Tim Basile. Hello, I actually love flips, but I noticed having a construction background helps a lot. Andrew, how much construction have you done in your life?
Zero. So, so look, I think, a comment on that, Dave, where lots of investors go wrong, you'll know this, I know this, Dan knows this, is underestimating the cost of any renovation. It's quite difficult to cost it. How many bricks do I need? How much plaster do I need? How much paint do I need? But unfortunately, Dave, that comes with experience, right? Whether you work with tradesmen or you work with builders. I mean, what's your experience been, Dave, with that?
I mean, definitely sort of we've seen that once you get into it and once you've done a couple of deals or you've at least done the research on a couple of deals, you start to get a better intuition of how much something's going to cost. I know, Drew, I remember walking around the UK with you and we could walk in and we could be like, that's a £1,000 kitchen. That's £500 there, £500 there. And once you do enough of those deals, you start to get that intuitive knowledge. But until then, it's just people. It's just about working with the right people and understand, getting introductions to the right people and building relationships and managing those guys. It's not just, you can't just sort of
Yeah.
go onto any builder and just ask them to come in, because they'll do what they do, and not everyone's verified, not everyone's good at what they do, and not everyone charges a fair price. So definitely that's where network really helps. Reach out to the networks, hit on the, I don't know where you are, but yeah, if you're in the Joburg, hit the WhatsApp groups and say, guys, I'm looking for building in this area. Can I get some introductions? At least then you're going to get a verifiable or verified sort of service provider who can get you in the right space, and then just build that relationship.
Yeah, I agree 100%. I think that's good, Dave. And it is. I mean, there's so much more to it, but it's exactly that. Work with trusted builders. Don't, always keep your finger in the pulse. Don't just give them a project and walk away. Make sure you're on site every day. If you can't be, there's someone on site for you, taking photographs, and keeping you up to date with what's happening with your project. And Dave, I came across a really good new member of our network. They manufacture kitchens, and they do kitchens, and we actually did a price comparison between Leroy Merlin, Builders Warehouse, and these guys. The owners are carpenters. They've got their own factory here in Joburg, but there is a national franchise as well. So if anyone's looking for really good prices on kitchens, reach out to support@sapropertynetwork.com. And Dave, I'll put them in touch with these guys who I met only a few weeks ago, but they're already doing work for guys in our network. So that is cool. So maybe, Dave, just to wrap this up, can we just go through the events for the week? And I know Dan's got the lineup for tomorrow night, so he can read it. He can read through that as well. Okay.
Yeah, 100%. So, like we said a little earlier, it's quite a busy week. There's a lot happening. So there's the event happening tomorrow night. That's in Joburg on the 23rd of August. The link is in the chat box. Dan, do you want to give us the run through about what's happening there?
Yeah, definitely. I think last week, Anzo, I had the pleasure of sharing the stage at an event with some of the Absa Bank's executive, and the whole theme of that talk was around sustainability and how resilience is part of sustainability, especially for property investors. Right? So I'm super excited because tomorrow, I'm just looking through the lineup. We're having Sangha talking about how Absa Bank is helping property investors, property entrepreneurs to ensure that your portfolio can withstand any single storm coming, right? So things like the floods that happened in KZN, how insurance from an Absa Bank point of view, the different products they have to safeguard your investments. So I'm super excited to hear a bit more about all the different insurance packages they do have. And we have, like we mentioned earlier, Nondu Miso, the newly elected head of Absa Bank's home loans. She will be talking about her journey, talking about what they have, what they're working on from a home loan point of view. I'm super excited to be hearing about that. And how can we have an Absa event and not talk about Miguel Martins? So Miguel has been part of the network for ages now, and he will be talking about some of the different products they have at Absa to ensure that as property investors, we are able to fast track our property investment journey, and how Absa Bank is backing the jockey and backing property entrepreneurs and investors in the industry. So that's just three of the many speakers they have coming up. So I'm super excited to hear from Sangha regarding the whole insurance model. And I think many individuals should be coming and hearing about, what you can insure with Absa, how they can help you create a sustainable portfolio. Huh?
Yeah, definitely, Dan. Was that it, eh?
Yeah.
There's about how many speakers? Five or six.
Yeah, 5 or 6 speakers.
And in between that, Dan, we're going to allow the members, our professional members and intermediate, if you've got a deal that you want to pitch, if you're looking for a deal, make sure you contact support or at least come see me tomorrow night. It might be too late if you come to me on the night, but email us before and say, Andrew, I'm really looking for a deal in this part of town or that part of town. And Andrew, I've got some cash, looking to invest in a project. Or maybe you got a deal looking for cash. Whatever it is, if you're a member of SAPIN, come speak to us before or email us today or tomorrow morning, and we'll strategically put you on stage and help you achieve what you need to achieve. Because tomorrow night, it's not only just about listening, it's about networking, it's about meeting like-minded property investors. And these live events are always a great success. So we hope to see you all there. So that's tomorrow night. Dave, what's next?
Cool, that's good. And then Thursday, so August the 25th, coaching and legal support. So myself and Andrew will be hosting the Bruno Samar attorneys as well as the Intelligent team, and spending some time answering your questions. If you haven't got your invitation to that yet, you can just email support@sapropertynetwork.com. Make sure you're sending your questions ahead of time. It really helps us give you better answers, especially if you've got some really complex things. I'm looking at you, Yaku, where there's always something interesting happening over there,
Yeah.
and we can make sure we get good answers for you guys. And then last but definitely not least is the private property show at Sandton Convention Center this weekend. Drew, do you know if we have any tickets left, or should everyone go book for a compy ticket or quickets? Sorry,
Is that for this weekend, eh?
yeah, for Saturday.
So for this weekend, Dave, unfortunately, we've got some free tickets available to give away to our members. Again, email support at, if you're going to join us at the private property show this weekend, email support at sapropertynetwork.com, and we're happy to give you some free tickets just because you're part of SAPIN and its community. So that's this weekend. And remember, come see myself, Dan, the team will be at the stand. We are talking on some of the pods, both first-time buyer pods as well as the investor pod. Pod being where they run the workshops from 10 o'clock on Saturday and Sunday up until about 5 o'clock in the late afternoon. So we'll see you there. And I think, Dave, that's it, eh?
Yeah, 100%. That feels like it. I think we're good there.
Awesome. Sounds good. So I hope you all enjoyed that, ladies and gents. We had Cath on from SAPIN Women and Nico from the brokerage talking about property deals. It's going to be a really busy week, an exciting week. And we will be planning. So, Dave, I'll need to come down to Cape Town sometime this year, and Durban and Bloem. So we'll need to work on that events calendar. But we'll update you as we come to your town or city over the next 3 months. But from our side, Dan, thanks very much.
Awesome. Thank you so much for having me. Looking forward to the events we've got coming up. And yeah, hopefully we can do a roadshow, a SAPIN roadshow, and come to Cape Town and make Cape Town much cooler. Huh?
Absolutely. We're going to need to do something there, Dan. Okay, cool. Dave, anything from your side?
No, that's all it. We can end there. Cool. Thanks, gents.
Awesome.
Thanks, everyone. Thanks for joining. Remember, we're back same time, same place, Monday, 1 o'clock. We all go live. It's always good. And you can always catch the replays on our Facebook or YouTube channels.
Yeah, sounds good, man. Cheers, everyone.
Awesome. Cheers, guys.